Okay, do you want to just?
Yes. You had something to share about the point of stress.
Yeah, so I was going through the slides we had in the last point. One of them said zero stress, right? And we also spoke a little bit about the feeling people get during exam, right? It's often called exam. Sure. Oh, that's a word I stutter in a lot. Exam. Sure. Exam pressure. Yeah. And I was talking to Ma about the difference between that and stress, right? What's the difference? Because we often don't think about it because they sound very similar. Oh, he's stressed, or oh, he's under a lot of pressure, right? A pressure can be good. Pressure is not something bad, because a pressure can form you, it can mold you, it can help you build patterns, it can help you with many things, right? And stress, on the other hand, is something that can snap you, something that can break you. There is a key difference. Even if we talk about like a sheet of steel of of some sort, right? You can put a lot of pressure in the steel and it won't be damaged. If you keep it for a long time, then it might change its shape, but it'll still be steel. But stress on any one piece or any one component can cause it to get damaged, can cause it to get torn, can cause it to snap. And that's a difference we don't talk about enough. Exam, exam pressure is fine. Studies pressure is fine. That's not an issue. But is it stress or is it the pressure? Because stress is what leads to the terrible cases we see online, that the exam was too much.
Yes.
Stress is what can cause people to hate school, to hate learning, to hate life. And oftentimes parents want their child to work better, so they end up getting stress instead of what they wanted to give them. And this is something very important because though, as we shared about my batch and how things were, and though my batch did incredibly in their exams, we we struggled with uh, the pressure, right? There was the pressure coming from family, their past ideas of how an exam goes. But the I think we did a very good job at keeping them safe from stress, right? Because even when they were on the brink of it, we just laughed with them and we spent time with them and we saw that okay, no, he needs some time to just calm down, right? So I feel that is something very important that we don't talk about enough. If you are in the if you're in sure, that's good, that can help you, that can be a driving force. Stress is gonna snap you,
Yes.
stress is gonna break you.
Absolutely. I think it's a beautiful thing that you brought in the difference between stress and pressure. Usually it's not very well understood. And the example that you gave makes it really easy for anybody to comprehend. And also going back to our days, right? We had both the stress and the pressure to a level that we used to wake up having dreams that you have landed in an exam hall without a hall ticket, which it's required for the entrance, or you have gone there prepared for a different subject and the exam is for a different subject. This is the kind of dreams that we used to have cold sweat and wake up to. So that is something that you can completely understand. Uh, Beautiful point. Thanks for bringing that up. And also, as we were discussing earlier, if you're looking at Gurukulam, I mean, as we spoke, Gurukulam gives academic excellence to children. But if you're looking at that as an alternative way, and the only thing that you want from the Gurukulam, that's not the game. So it comes with everything. They learn everything else, plus they'll excel in academics. But you need to be ready for things like I want to hear from my child who says, I don't want to take up the exams right now, though I'm prepared. Right? That could be a thing. Oh my God. That could be a thing that Did I lose you, Skanda?
Me?
Yes, back with power now.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it just I think we were on the point of stress, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't remember where I left exactly, but I think I made my point. I think you were adding on to it, right?
Yeah. So I was telling how stressful it was for us about the whole thing about exams specifically, that we used to wake up having bad dreams of being prepared for a wrong subject on a wrong day, not taking the
Mhm.
hall ticket to the exams, those kind of crazy things. I think that I can relate to it now, saying that was stress. The pressure was there. Of course, we ended up learning a lot more during the preparation for the exams. Not learning, reading, I would say, studying. That is what we used to do. But yeah, pressure helps to get to the point, but stress, not so much.
Great.
Great. So I think we can move on to the next segment if we have Nutanma.
Yes, Bharatji.
Yeah. So I think we can move on to the next segment maybe.
Just,
Play learning. Skanda, you've got all the advantage here. You're talking about learning, you're talking about Gurukulam, you're talking about play, and we have you on the other side. Okay, this is where it comes down to the wire, I think. L- let's go for it.
Oh,
yeah, I'll just
So
change
again,
the.
from the start of it, right? The slide's title itself looks like play, learn. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You either play or you learn. That's what it
Yeah.
used. Don't go to play because you have to learn and study for the exams. And now we are putting these two things together. Let's see what we got there.
Yes.
I can do the reading, Nutana, just to give you a break.
Okay. Okay.
Play facilitates immersive learning. Play is the most natural way a human learns. Play provides environment for structured play. Gurukulam provides, okay. Learning is a lucid activity that is nurtured in the play state. Play is the most efficient tool for personality development. Play teaches a person the most important part of being human. Sanatana Dharma gives the vision of the entire universe as an interplay of energies. Play learning is the cultural heritage of Bharata. Play is life simulation. Wow. Okay.
I
Bharatji,
think
I think this
Bharatji's
is.
network is stuck. Yeah. Play.
Am I audible? Am I gone?
Wait for Bharatji's network to get back because he's recording.
I can still hear you guys.
we just lost your video.
Okay. Okay.
So
So
this is
play
the
is life
last slide.
simulation.
Yeah.
Play is life simulation. That's huge.
Yeah. So yeah, to make the case for the Gurukulam, I'm going to let Skanda, who is the architect behind the learning experiences in Leela Bhoomi, which in itself is a play center. So he will do a far better job than anybody can over here. Yeah, but before Skanda takes over, I just want to add that this is a methodology used in our Gurukulam. And yeah, in every Gurukulam, there can be different methodologies used to convey the curriculum at the Gurukulam. But the point here is that the methodology in itself is so deeply meaningful. Everything that is used over there has a lot of intent. behind it, very thoughtful intent, very mindful, and for reasons, beyond anybody can comprehend. So yeah, my request is anybody looking at a Gurukulam to just open up and to not come with a fixed mindset that a Gurukulam has to be, only like this or like that, because if you go with that kind of limited mindset, then you lose the essence of it. So yeah, please,
Yeah.
Skanda.
And there's one more request. For all the points that we have on these slides, right? Each one of it is huge, and we're talking about play, and we're talking about very deep topics there. So I think, Skanda, if you can just spend a couple of minutes on each of the slides talking about those points, maybe that would be a great thing to look at. So if you can just rewind to play, learning slide, maybe we could start from that. Decode play and learning.
Oh, this is going to
How
be my
did
favorite part.
how did these two guys? What is the love story behind play and learning getting married?
It's my favorite love story. It's
Please.
better than any notebook. uh, okay, let's see. I feel what was said earlier about the different curriculums, right? Like, I feel one thing that we should see is that can we go to the first slide?
Yeah,
In
just go
these,
ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, play facilitates immersive learning. Now, lots of big words in that, mainly two, but it's pretty simple. Learning for most of us has meant to read a book, take your notes, and know the points, right? It should be on the top of your mind, right? That's one definition of learning. But the only thing that makes that the broad spectrum of learning, if you could put it under one bracket, it's that it happens best when you are immersed in what you're learning, when you are completely into what you are learning. And that doesn't mean reading for longer. It means, are you immersed in every sense? Are you thinking about it all the time? Are you feeling it? Are you seeing it? Are you smelling it? Are you touching it? Every mental faculty, every part of your brain and every part of your body, is it there with the concept being taught, right? That is, and play facilitates that. Play is very immersive. I understand that most of the people here thus might not be gamers, might not be players, right? But I will ask you to think about any one friend you have, or maybe your child, or maybe your child's friend, right, who loves to play games, and just see how deeply they get into it. I have one person on Spotlight, and I know his son loves to play games. Just tell me how immersed he gets when he plays something. I get that his favorite game is Minecraft.
Yes. So that's a big challenge, right? I I had not understood the game till he started playing it. I was like, "What is this? Everything looks so squarish." But the way he gets into the game, the kind of things that he's explored, and the concept that he's learned from it, he's in his own world. I mean, Minecraft has so many worlds as you create, but in every world, he gets into it. He gets into the details of it, and he learned things about crafting and the. I don't know. You understand the game much better than me, but I know he's living there as if he's building a real world with real stuff, how it should be, the planning that it takes to find the path back to where he was earlier and how to go back, hunt and still come back and survive. Those are the kind of things that I've seen him doing and creating. Initially, I thought it is just some random thing that's happening, but it's amazing to see the kind of things that happens in Minecraft. It's and it's deeply immersive. I think he gets into a zone when he's playing, and at the end of
Is
it,
he even there? Like, do you feel like when you see him playing, it's just like his everything is just there on the screen at
yeah,
the moment, right?
right.
So,
And the swiftness and the way that things come together and how it's all dealt with. Oh, it's amazing to see.
and this is true for any kind of play, be
Yeah.
it a play with dolls, be it board games, be it online games, be it video games. Now, I will talk about the different kinds of play in a second, but play is at the heart of all of it, right? And learning is supposed to be like, you will find kids and the teachers are saying, oh, he can't focus, he doesn't give his attention, and then you see them play a game, and they are, the definition of focus is right there on their face. They will not look away for a second. So how is it if the teacher is saying that the child can't focus, why is it that they can focus on this? It's because the way they are being taught, it doesn't immerse them enough. In other words, it's too low level for them. It's not challenging enough. That's how we really have to think about it. Because if the child truly was into it, and if the child was challenged, I will guarantee the child will be completely in it at that moment. He will not think of anything else. But the child just does not want to read the same book again and again. The child wants immersion. And the way he is learning, then he's not getting that. It's not a matter of who the child is or the child's character, or it's not a matter of saying, oh, this child is this way, it's that way. It's a matter of that the way the child is learning, it's not enough for him. He needs more. If a child can't focus, it's probably a sign that they're too good for what they're learning. um and play immerses you, right? I think we can move to the next slide. And it is the most natural way a human learns. The most basic example I can give you, look at animals. We love to say, oh, we were monkeys, and then our tail fell and boom, humans, right? Well, see how monkeys learn, see how lions learn, see how dogs learn. They will play. They will always, always, always play, right? And why do they play? They play to learn. Humans do that too. If you have had a child, I haven't, but I have had the amazing chance to see kids grow all around me from every age. You will see that anything that they are learning at the starting phases of it, they are actually playing with it, even if it's something like walking. If they are learning how to walk, then they are playing with crawling. They are exploring and they are figuring out this new, how do my limbs work, or what if I do this, what if I push down, and they will do weird stuff, and you look at the child like, oh, look at this cute little dumb baby, right? But the child is playing around and the child is trying to figure out how these things work, because that's the way they are programmed and sent to earth. They are programmed in order to play and learn. That's the most basic thing that they know what to do. It's like, imagine you are born and the first thing you're told is, and the only thing you know is, I must play to learn. That's how significant it is to a human being. It is the most natural way. We can go to the next slide. Now, we had a talk earlier about natural, and what's the difference between something natural and something that's organic. And something I had mentioned then is that something natural can grow wild. Something organic can be structured down so that it's something that can be used. That is where we mainly step in, because yes, play is a very potent tool, but the thing about anything that is a good tool is it really depends on who's using it in order to know if it's going to be used to build or to break, right? You look at anything, nucleus, you can use it to make clean energy for the entire world, but you can use it to level an entire city, right? How do you use it? If play is such a potent thing, we must learn how we use it. So what we do here, what we build here, is we build an environment that is perfect for structured play. Now again, structure does not mean heavy rules. Structure does not mean that the child isn't going to have fun. Structure means that yes, you are playing, but every child here knows that they are playing to learn. I am so proud of the kids in the curriculum, because at one point I don't even need to tell them. They know that they are playing in order to learn. And if you watch them play, you won't know it, because they are having as much fun as any child else. Because here's the fact: if a child is ever bored and they are asking for a game, they are just asking to be taught. They are asking to learn. They are not bored because they need some entertainment and they need some pixels in front of their eyes. They are bored because they're not learning. It's the main thing kids do. It's it's they are at a stage in life where they're figuring out this world is full of vast things that they can't understand, and they want to learn, and that's why they want to play, right? So yes, the fun is still there. Yes, the kids are still enjoying, they're still immersed, but they know that they have to learn. And the kind of environment that fosters is an environment with no stress. It's an environment where every child is fully into what they are doing, and they learn from it way more than you can even tell they are learning from it. They are learning in multiple levels, multiple levels. Can we go to the next slide? Now, okay, this is a heavy one. Stick with me. Learning is a lucid activity. I'll stop right there and I'll just take what that means. Lucid activity. What do we mean by lucid? We are talking about a state of consciousness. Okay. Now, being conscious, we have mostly heard of conscious and unconscious. If you're conscious, you're awake, you're active, and if you're unconscious, you should probably see a doctor, right? Now, what we mean by lucid is sort of a place in between, right? Uh, Lucid doesn't mean that you're unconscious. You're most definitely conscious, but the way your mind works is it's thinking in so many levels, and it's thinking so deeply, and it's so immersed that even if you are there in your body, it might not look like you are there because you are thinking very deeply. Immersion makes you lucid, right? And lucidity, vice versa, makes you efficient. It goes hand in hand. And learning, just how play can only be there in a lucid state, so can learning. Learning is something that happens lucid, right? That's why we say that learning can happen in various ways. Yes, rote learning is still a type of learning, but that's a less lucid form, and that's why it's what we use in order for hard skills, right? If you need to remember something, you use that. Why? Because it's something you need to be able to say again and again, right? Like knowing your ABCs, right? That is something rote learning, that's fine because you need to be able to know your ABCs, right? But on the other hand, life can't be learned by rules. Life is a lot more than just rules, than this and that. Some things that you need to have in the back of your mind, right? Life is when you need to adapt on the fly. Life is when you need to be able to think on the fly, right? Most of life happens right now, not in the past, not in the future. You can't plan for the future about 90% of things that are going to happen. You have to think at that time, and that's something you can only do in a lucid state, right? Now, play also brings that lucid state. Learning also happens in that state. That's because play causes learning. And if you want to learn, you want to play. These three concepts go hand in hand. And this concept of you need not understand it to its complete depth, but know that play and learning are linked because they are both lucid activities. Okay?
I love it when you mention play causes learning.
Yeah, it does.
Thanks. Yeah, let's go on.
It goes so hand in hand. Even saying causes feels like, like about how you see kids when they're playing, right? There are very few activities where you'll see them so immersed. What you're seeing there is a person who's completely lucid. That's why parents often stress that, oh my god, he's like a zombie, he's just in a screen all day. Right? He's not a zombie, he's more human than a zombie. He's more human than just being conscious because he's lucid, he's learning. Yeah, let's go to the next slide. Play is the most efficient tool for personality development. Can we just go to the slides after this so I know what's coming? I have a bad memory, so I just want to. Okay, can we go to the next one? Okay, no, okay, so let's go back. Yes, play is the most efficient tool for personality development. Now, we have spoken a lot, well, not a lot, but we have spoken a decent chunk about soft skills and things along that line. Why is play the most efficient tool for personality development? Because it is when you are practicing how to be human. You are practicing the skills that you're going to need the most. You're practicing how to talk to people. You're practicing how to think on. As I said, most of your life is going to happen at the present. You can't predict 90% of the things that will happen to you, right? That is when your personality comes out, when you have to be there at the moment, right? Otherwise your personality won't come out. Otherwise a plan will come, your plan for the future, but your personality for the now, right? And play is the most efficient tool to build that. because you can only think about the now. You plan for the now, you think about the now, you learn how to talk to the people around you. If you look at a game of board games that our kids play, you will see the different facets of life that they are practicing right there. They are practicing how to be social, they are practicing how to talk to people, and they are learning who they are through play, right? That's why if anyone here is into sports, you'll know that the way a player plays their sport, it shows a lot about how they think. What do they value, offense or defense? What do they value, ball control or a powerful shot, right? It shows a fractal of how you think of who you are, right? it's because it's because the play built that who they are. Play built the personality. It helped them learn about who they are and help them go out and practice who they are. Let's go to the next slide. Play teaches a person the most important part of their life. I think I skipped a little bit. I had mentioned this in the past, but I'll go back to the first slide where I had mentioned about animals, right? If you look at what animals play, like how do lions play? Have any of you seen that?
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to fight with each other.
Do they play snakes and ladders?
Mhm.
Do they play Ludo? Do they try to fly? No. Why do they know that they are supposed to fight each other? Because for a lion, to hunt is the most important. If you look at bears, they play by grappling each other. It's a lot of movement like this. Why? Because these are intelligent beings. We undermine how smart animals are, but these are intelligent beings. But still, why do they choose to limit what they play? It's because they're learning the most important thing. For a lion, to hunt is the most important because it'll choose whether it'll be in the pack and whether it'll live or whether it'll die. It's a do or die. A bear must learn how to use its paws. An elephant that plays with its trunk must learn how to use it. If you look at any animal and how they play that particular play. They play that particular play because that is going to teach them the most important part about how they are supposed to live. It will teach them the most important skill set. Same way, the way a human being plays is they are practicing the most important part of being human. And I don't even need to elaborate that. I feel most of you can just think for yourself. What in your eyes is the most important part of being human? And play has it. Unless you're saying academic success, I can't help you there. But play does, again, as I said in my last point, that we do definitely prepare. I mean, my batchmates have passed with 99s and 100s, right? So, and they learned everything they did through play. Everything I learned through play, right? So play can definitely teach you that too, but more importantly, it'll teach you things that you need to be human. How to how to connect to something, how to think, how to live with grace, how to have a good spirit, right? These are things that nothing can teach you the way play does. Play to build a mind, exactly, right? You play in order to build a mind. And this point I will I think it'll come up again in our last slide, so I will save it for that. I think we can go to the next slide. Sanatana Dharma gives the entire vision of the sorry gives the can you just go through the slide? I'll start off.
Sanatana Dharma gives the vision of the entire universe as an interplay of energies.
It is there in our scriptures. How beautiful is that? There are many things, it's because when we think of our scriptures, we often think about things from a time that is long gone, things from a time where they had huts and campfires and rulers and kings and slaves. But play is the one thing they mentioned there. Play is the one thing we still hold on to. That's the one culture that hasn't changed throughout our entire history. Why is that? Why did we save this aspect of our life? Though it might not be used in the same way it was then, we saved it because we knew there's something important. And if you don't trust me, Go to the closest ancient temple, and I guarantee you will find a game. I wish I had a few of them on hand. I don't, but there are these games that were etched onto the stones of the temple walls. How crazy is that? A place we sanctify so much, and the place which is so important to our hearts, and we chose to etch games over there. Often people like to say, "Oh, the builders were bored, and in order to pass their time, they etched it out." We have heard stories to how builders were treated back then. You think the king would be happy? He'll be like, "What's this drawing over here?" He'll be like, "Oh yeah, we were bored. We played a game." What will the king do? Take a guess.
Play a
You
game with them.
think?
Play a little game with them, maybe. Yeah,
This
let's
was
not.
not.
No, even if they did, they could have erased it out later.
Yes, they can. Have you seen the craftsmanship? Have you been to a South Indian temple? Have you been to Hampi? Have you been to Belur? Have you seen the kind of craftsmanship? Why would they choose to leave a game out there? And they had slabs of stones all around them. They could have just etched it on that and then kept it upside down so that no one can see the game. Then why was the game there? It was more than entertainment because they knew something that most of us refuse to believe. Play is way more important than we think. Play is sanctified. Play is something we hold dear to ourselves. That out of the very few things that happen in a temple, play was chosen to be one of them. Right? So this is not some new science. This is not new news. This is not something I had a good dream and I thought, oh, well, we should use play. No. I look back at what my ancestors always told me, and they told me that play is the way we learn. I think we can go to the next slide. Play, okay, well, I keep skipping slides. I think I can talk about this in a different light then, since I've already spoken about how play is there in our scriptures. Plays, I think uh, I'll share a story here. When we first started to use play for, well, we always have, but there was a time when I came forward and I was like, you know what, I want to make it the goal of my life in order to make sure people know how important play is. And that's when we got a space for it. And one of the first things we kept on that space is a verse from the Skanda Purana, I believe. And the Skanda Purana, it's one of the oldest texts that has ever existed, older than the Bible. That's how old it is. And one of its lines, one of its verses, it's an entire verse, and it speaks about how the world is a play. It's a game between Devi and Lord Shiva, and it's one of the most beautiful verses you will ever hear. I don't want to say it because there's such a beauty to it that I don't want to say I don't want to say the wrong thing. I encourage you. You can find it online. Go look at it, because if we can say that our gods played a game and that game is our world, then why can't we use play to teach ourselves? But it's also that it's been a part of our history. It's still there in our culture. It's all about a small change in our mindset, that we start looking at it as a tool that it was meant to be, a tool of learning, a tool of growth. That's pretty much all I can say for that. We can move to the next slide. This is the fun one. Play is a life simulation. Again, with the big words. Simulation, for those who are not aware, is a replica of something. Say flight simulation. A flight simulation will be a replica of flying a plane, but it's a game, but it's a game built to match the actual thing. So and simulation is one of the most high class, I guess I could say, ways of learning in the corporate world and in many places, because you get the feel for the actual thing without the consequences of the actual thing. Like, especially for pilots, a simulation is one of the most important parts of pilot training. India sends their pilots out to Germany and the US in order to get the best of these games, to be able to play them and to use them, because 90% of what they learn in that cockpit. And once they move to an actual one, they will learn, they will be able to still do well. So when you go on a flight, you're trusting this man with your life, and that man learned in a game how to fly his plane. Think about that next time. But play can play in its most natural state is a simulation of life. So it's not simulating a flight, it's not simulating a taxi drive, it's not simulating any part of life, it's a simulation of life. Because as I said, you're practicing what it means to be human. You're practicing the most important tools that you will walk out in the world with. I wish I had a game with me in order to speak, but most games that we use are, uh, and I guess here I would like to, I will talk about a few more things. Yes, most games that we play here, they all, I can track all of them back to one aspect of life. Every single one of them. And these are not games we have made. These are games we bought from outside because because we know that each game can teach you something. Only thing is, we find the right games for the right age group, and we make sure to make that environment where children can play and thrive and learn and be immersed, right? Now, one important thing when we say a life simulation is that it's not something that is all happy go lucky and just, oh, go out there and do whatever you want. Play can pressure you. And this is something I spoke about, pressure you, not stress you. If play is going to stress you, then you're not playing the right way. You are thinking about it too deep. You are trying to win and you're trying to reach this end goal. And that is not the spirit of play. The spirit of play, yeah, I think we can stop the screen share. The spirit of play isn't to win or to be the best, right? Sorry. Where was it? Yes. But a play is going to give you the pressure, because if you look at anyone playing something high strategy, or if you look at anyone playing where they have something at stake, and all games have something at stake, it's either you will lose and you want to do well in the game, or it is some games, if you don't do something well, you will lose something, like you lose some money or you lose some land or something along those lines, right? um, there's something always at stake, but you don't feel the stress, you feel the pressure to do well. And pressure is where you shine, right? That's the most healthy way to get introduced to what it means to be in pressure, and what it means to work through the pressure and be able to still think, to be able to still articulate, to be able to uh, strategize, and to be able to adapt, right? Nowhere else can you learn these skills and not have any consequences but feel the pressure. It is a simulation of how we live our lives. If you don't trust me, play a game. I cannot emphasize this enough. Play any game and you'll know what I'm talking about, because once you get into it, you will truly know what it means. But of course, as I said in the beginning, though all play will lead to you learning, all play need not lead to you learning what you want to learn. Some play can lead to you learning habits or tendencies which might not be the healthiest, right? This is why for a lot of the kids here, I tell them not to play games which are online, right? Now, don't take this as advice for your kids. I'm just saying what I do in the curriculum, because online games, it's a form of going and talking and socializing. Wow, I'm stuttering. Um, and and at a certain age, even though it's a game, the socializing is still that, right? And as we have gone through in the day two, that socializing is something not given for a certain age, right? So the kind of games you play, who you play it with, where you play it, all this is under control, right? not control because some games are bad, because some games need not be played at some times. Is there anything I missed?
So that's what then a structured game, structured
Yes.
play, right? Yeah. Just to add on, we all know that every human being is unique. That's not something that needs to be introduced to us as a concept. There was never one like me. There will never be one like me. What is it that makes us unique? What is it that differentiates? What is that element? We know that we are unique because the universe is infinite, and infinity does not at all require replication. Forget about affording replication. It doesn't require replication. So each one of us is unique, but how are we unique? The one thing that we all can come down to is that each one of us has a unique DNA. Think about it. That's how most of us are structured as our physical self, from the color of our skin to the color of the eyes, to how our immunity works and all of that. But then there's yet another thing which makes each one of us very, very unique, is that each of us have a unique life experience. So even twins cannot have the same life experience. So there must be something else that is differentiating. The only other thing that is unique with which we are born, there are two things. One is the DNA. The only other thing which is unique with which we are born is our play personality, who we are as a player. All human beings are players. Some know it, some don't know it, some don't want to accept it. Like Skanda says, refuses to believe, right? But each one of us has a unique play personality, and that play personality defines how we have life experiences. We are here to play the game of life. The better that play personality is developed, the better the experiences of life are. We are manifesting our reality with that play personality, not with our DNA. The DNA is giving us the stage or the platform with which we can do that. It gives us a platform to cherish this experience called life. But then the quality of this life is defined by that unique code, which is the play state, the play personality with which we all are born. So I think each point mentioned, I'm not letting my team down here, but I'm off. This is...
That's what even I wanted to say. This is a place where I have nothing to argue about, because this is exactly what happens, right? Apart from the Gurukulam way, nobody else takes this seriously, saying play is the way of learning.
Absolutely. And it need not be board games. It could be the play of sounds.
Anything.
Yeah. It
Any
could be
play.
the play of patterns. It could be the play of any kind of interplay. There's no Gurukulam without it.
Yes. And based on, if it was an argument to be made before Skanda spoke about all of these things in detail, it would have been that if people think of play as an entertainment, pastime to get you out of stress and pressure and get yourself out of the reality of life, if you're looking at it that way, then it is not a case. But after the explanation of what you did, Skanda, right now, I think all the people who have heard this, they know what it means. So there's no going back and saying people don't understand it anymore, and that's the reason you should not look at it. If the understanding is already in them based on what we just explored, and if they're still up for it, and the most easiest, safest way to learn life without having to start 10 companies to know how to build a business, or dying 10 times in a war and then knowing how to survive, the safest place to do it is through play, through games. So if that is an understanding that people have, welcome to the Gurukulam.
Not
It
9
sounds
points. I think I would give him 9,000 points for this. Because the truth in his voice comes from the very fact that that's how he has been educated. That comes. The truth comes that that's how he has learned his life, and that's what he is in his life. So he's basically speaking himself. And I can't tell any parent with the in the context of play learning, I can't tell any parent that the Gurukulam is not for your child. The Gurukulam is for every child on this planet. Always was, ever will be. In the context of play learning, that's because that's all a child needs. Nothing else a child needs. In fact, if a parent wants to know your child, right? If you want to know your child, become a playmate. That's when you'll really get to know your child.
Yes, yes, that's something I would always tell parents. Even when a child comes for the first time and they are, they'll come and they'll see our board games and they'll not know what to do at first, and then we'll give them a simple game. And the way they play it tells me 90% about what I need to know. So, it's so deep and it's so, I'm not getting the exact word, but it's so personal and it's so intimate that you can figure out who they are just by seeing how they play, right? It is something really, and one thing I want to say is that the parents of the curriculum are so understanding of how important play is. They ask me, can my child play this game? Can they play that game? I get messages like, hey, is this game good? And even if I say no, they're like, okay, good, right? They ask me which games they can play at home. They ask me which games can they play with their child. They ask me which games they can play themselves. This is a concept that people understand, and it might not look like it, but it is, because it is the most, every science, you will not find a single science, a single study out there that will tell you that play doesn't teach you. Psychology says it does, anthropology says it does, history says it does, neurology is filled with it, so social science, every chemistry. When you play, your brain grows gray matter or white matter. I forgot the exact name, but it grows that matter, and that matter, as it only grows when you're practicing parts of the brain. When it's in use, play develops that matter at a very good speed, because you're practicing. You're putting your brain under that pressure. It is literally a gym for the brain.
Actually, to add on to that, Skanda, the parts of the brain that are capable of gaining knowledge or knowing, right, are different from the parts of the application of that knowledge. And play circuits, they call them play circuits. The more you play, the more those circuits are formed, where what you know is something that you can apply in life as well.
Yes. If you look at any game, it'll always have that bounce between these two things. You gain knowledge, you use knowledge. And this can be in any type of game. It can be at a game I play about, what's a board game we have? What's a simple board game we have? It can be, say, what's a simple board game we have here? Uh, Startups. Startups is a game we have which is about having your startup, right? I I look at the map and I gain some knowledge. Okay, the market looks like this now. And then I have to apply it. Anything you learn in a game is something for you to be applied. A game will never tell you something that you can't apply into the game. And this goes for any type of game. Even though shooting games are not good, I'll still take that as an example, because it's the most famous and everyone wants to play whatever new game is out there now. I don't know. But even in that, the way you play is you try to know something. Once you know something, you use that something, and then you go back to trying to know something. It's that constant cycle, and that's what builds the gray matter, right? So it's the only place where every bit of knowledge you get, everything you can learn, is something you can immediately use back. And whether you use it well or not, you will get that. You will get the feedback. If you have done it well, no, not if you have good job, you learn some, you found something new. If you not good job, you found out where you can learn.
And I have seen that as an educator, when I see a child play, I can almost see the parent in that child. I can see the conditioning working in that child. And I'll tell you a very, very sad thing. I have interacted with children like in class 8, 9, right? They dread playing a game even as simple as Scotland Yard. They dread it. Because, and I'm saying dread it, because that personality has not been nurtured. And now they don't want to think, because they've got, accustomed and molded into a system where this is your textbook, this is all you should think, this is one question, it has one right answer, just do that, learn how to memorize and put it back. By the time they're 13, 14, that spirit of learning, that immersiveness, that lucidity is gone. So they're so fearful of a place. I don't want to play this game. It's not entertaining. I have to think too hard. Imagine a human being reaching a place where thinking has become too hard. And entertainment is supposed to be something in which no thought is put in. What a sad state. And there are many children, you can see where the parent is. If I tell you, I'll tell you the next line, and I think everybody will be able to imagine immediately what the parent is. A child who does not know how to play and thinks that a game is an activity of winning, and therefore takes, losing a game is equated with defeat. And if they're sure that they can't win, they refuse to play. This is a small child. A small child who can throw tantrums once they've lost a game and is expecting everybody around to somehow accommodate and adjust, or I don't know, do what to ensure that he or she wins. That's a sad state. And I think it ticks all the boxes, including the box whether it's an educational trend or not. It is today.
It is
It is.
100%.
It is. Schools have taken it. Europe is big time on gaming, and education through play. Play learning is what is given prominence there. We were discussing that the other day also. For me as an educator, yet another important point is it just transcends any need to get a child stuck into only one bracket of an IQ.
Yes. Oh, can I please speak about that?
Oh, please, please.
I think someone had mentioned earlier that there's a common notion that the higher your IQ, the better you're going to do in class, right? The sad truth is that yes, if you are going to the academics way, then yes, because it's built in a one-way stream of how knowledge happens. That's why I don't like the word teacher. Like when someone calls me a teacher, I cringe a little bit, like, ugh, because that's a knowledge dump. That's a one-way, path. And in that one-way path, there's only going to be one way to learn. In this case, it's IQ, right? But immersion, the beauty of that is that it need not be one way. If the child is, say they have high IQ, but they struggle with something else, right? Then what happens? The child will learn from the IQ that they use in the game. If the child is bad, if the child has low IQ, but they are good with, with seeing things and interacting with things, then the
Or
child will learn
thinking.
from that part of the game.
Or thinking.
Yes, or thinking. There are so many ways a child can learn. The best way to teach a child is to let them choose how they want to learn. There's no better way. And that's what play does. It gives the child the opportunity to choose. That's why as Ma said, each child is going to play in a different way. Each person is going to take something different from the game. I have a beautiful example of this. I was playing with the parents one day, and it was a game. It was a game where you're building an ancient city called Indus, right? And in that game, you were supposed to play in a certain the game. To win, you're supposed to play and you're strategize. You're supposed to strategize how to build, right? I had this one parent, and she built her entire city. And afterwards, I went and asked her. Like I just asked them just to know their answer. And I asked her, so why did you did this way? She's like, well, if it's a city, then of course this should be here, and the roads should connect like this, and this area for the houses. She lost terribly. She got half the points that the place got in second last. But I love that she committed and she let her soul speak out onto the canvas that was the game. She put her own self, a, a fractal of who she was on the game. She chose how to play and she learned through that, right? I don't care if you win, if you lose, if you play bad, if you don't play, just play. Just play and be in the spirit. It will work out 100%.
Is that the
That
play
someone
state?
was your wife, Balaji.
Thank you. Is it the play state that you're talking about?
Sorry?
Is that the place state? There was a thing called place state in one of the
Mhm.
slides.
That's
Is
like
it?
a trance.
Okay.
That's like a state of trance. You're
Yeah.
neither conscious nor unconscious.
Hmm.
Let's say you're playing Monopoly, okay? Now, if you're playing Monopoly, you have taken the personality of being a real estate businessman, which actually you're not. You're a Gurukulam educator. So you're in the body, but you're having an out of body experience. Because now you're thinking like one, your career is different, your personality has become different, and you identify like, think about the words that you use while playing Monopoly. Hey, you reached my hotel. This is my
Mine.
house.
Hmm.
It's my, which my? Who's taking the ownership? Correct. And suppose if let's say Skanda moves four places and he reaches a place where there is already one pawn existing. He looks up and he'll ask you, "Is this you?" And you'll say, "Yeah, that's me." Right. So you are identifying to plastic now or to wood. You're taken on a personality of a job that you can never think of. You are spending like 2,000 rupees and buying Delhi, Agra. I don't know what you're buying there. Right. You're doing things that you're not at all. Which state of being are you in? What are you conscious about yourself as? If in that state, you just pause yourself in that state, and let's say you get amnesia about everything else that you are. And if I ask you who you are, you'll say, I'm Bharadwaj, I'm a real estate businessman, and I have so many hotels, and I own Delhi and Agra, is probably what you'll tell. So that's the play state.
Imagine an alien learns English and comes to Earth, and it sees us pointing at small plastic and wood bits and be like, "Oh, that's my place. Oh, this is me." That guy would freak out and be like, "Don't come to these humans. They have learned how to transport their soul." He will lose his mind. And it's so common for us because we get so immersed. And that's why what you play and how you play matters so much. Who would you rather be? Right? How would you rather think? Do you want to think in along the lines of, oh, I must kill him and I must beat my enemy and oh, his king must die, right? Or do you want to think along the lines of, how can I start a business? How can I how can I start a garden? How can I get my trees to blossom? I'm not saying one is bad and the other is not, but when the motivation is not there, you won't know when this character slips into who you are. Because the truth is, it already has. It's not the character who has slipped into you, it's you who has slipped into the character.
And that's why many times Monopoly is not given to small children, should not be given, because unless you're an adult who knows what you're playing, right? In that particular gameplay, the concept of greed can come in very easily. And let me also say that I've had the joy of watching children with so-called learning difficulties and problems bash others in games. If you're sitting, nobody knows what's going to happen in that game, and have brilliant gameplay, even if they've not won the game. Brilliant gameplay, very profound gameplay. At the same time, I've also seen the so-called Buddhijivis not able to play at all because, there's joy there, and joy is very painful. If you're going to be one genius giant, it might be a very difficult thing for you to just let go and be happy. So not everyone with a high IQ or an intelligence is a person who can get through games. There are so many other things as well, right? So yeah, 9 points, Skanda. At the end of this day, we are right now at 9-9, 8 o'clock. Yeah, but Skanda, hats off.
Thank you.
Yeah,
This is my passion. It's what I do best. It's all I do.
that is why I told you are the architect.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are the architect indeed. So we meet at between 8 and 8:15.
Yep.
And yeah, very interesting category coming up. A Gurukulam prepares your child for future careers. And then there's going to be to and fro. And therefore, you should send your child to Gurukulam, or therefore, and only therefore, the Gurukulam is not for your child. Okay, it's going to be very iconic of how we are going to speak about that. So yeah, 9-9, we are draw. And that changes our grand total to
48 and 24.
okay.
Oh, we are halfway through. Nice.
We're halfway through. We're halfway through. Nice, nice.
Okay. So we still have a
Skanda,
chance.
yeah, yes. You have 2 days more. So you still have a chance, a very good chance, because the one coming up also is looking risky for our side. Who's
Oh,
going to
yes.
convince a parent not to send a child?
You have put all my expertise on one day. I love it. I
Okay.
wore my favorite shirt because I knew I'm going to win today.
Yes. Yes, that's a lucky shot. So yes. Yeah, let me also put it on record here that yeah, immensely proud mother moment right now. But yeah. See you
Same here.
everybody. Bye.